Hey guys, Ewolks here from Upper Hand Gaming, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to play Magic the Gathering. This is episode 1, and in this episode I'm going to teach you about the different cards of Magic the Gathering and how they work. As you can see out in my playing field right now, I have 5 different cards. These 5 different cards are the 5 most essential cards you can have in a Magic the Gathering game. These cards are what give you the ability to pay for different cards in the game. As you can see, there's 5 different colors: green, white, black, red, and blue. These different colors have different meanings for different types of mana that they produce. As you can see, this card is blue. Blue for water. This type of land is called an island. These cards are called land cards. As you can see, if you look up here, it says Basic Land Island. Basic lands are these 5 cards here. These are basic lands. An island will give you 1 blue mana when you tap it. Tapping is how you activate a card's effect or ability. This is how you make or produce mana. If I tap this card, I turn it sideways, saying that I have tapped this card and I now have 1 blue mana to pay for my other cards. I'll explain. If I go over here and you look into my hand, I just have a bunch of cards in my hand here. And we're going to go through and talk about each of these different cards and how you pay for them and different things that you can do with them. Now, if I go to, let's find a blue card here. Okay, looks like we have one right here. I'll bring it out in the field so you can see it a little bit better. If you look up here on the big image, you can see this card is Agoraphobia. What you need to learn on these cards is how much these cards cost. If you look in the top right hand corner alongside their name, you'll see the cost. This is what you have to pay to play the card. Just like when you go to the grocery store and you have to pay money to buy food or water, you have to pay for these cards. As you can see, if you go down here, you'll see the set that this card is from. And to the left of that, you'll see what kind of card it is. It says this card is an enchantment and it is an aura. In this box here, you'll see the card's effect. This card has the ability to enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -5, -0. You may not know what that means yet. We'll get to that in a different episode. We don't have to talk about that now. And below the effect, you'll see the flavor text. This is just text. They add this to every Magic card, just for a little bit of fun. At the bottom, you'll see the artist and the just legal stuff that you normally would see. And so, how you would pay for this card is, I need to tap some mana. I'm going to ask you a simple question right now. From what you know about mana, and how you gain mana is you tap these lands in order to gain mana. Can I pay for this card with the mana I possess? Now, if you answered yes, you are right. Here's the thing. You know that if I tap this island, I make 1 blue mana. That pays for this little blue cost right here. So we can cross that off. We don't need that. As you can see, all that is left is this 1. This 1 means if you see a number inside of a gray circle, that means you can pay for that part of the cost with any color of mana that you choose. As you can see, over here, if I tap this mountain, the cost will be paid for. We don't have to pay for it anymore. This island paid for this blue, and this mountain paid for this color this. This is called colorless. You pay for this with any color mana of your choice. So, let me put another card out here, and you can tell me if we can pay for that card. Let's put this card out into play. I'll just put this in my graveyard. Okay, can you pay for this card? If you answered yes, you are incorrect. You cannot pay for this card. If you look up at the top right, you can see that this card has 2 red mana symbols and 1 colorless symbol. This means that you have to pay 2 red mana and 1 of any color of your choice. So if I go down here, I only have 1 red that I can tap to produce 1 red mana. And as you can see, that only covers one of the reds. I don't have any other red mana to pay for this other little symbol here. So that means I cannot pay for this card. So this card cannot leave my hand. Let's put out a different card. I'm going to ask you, can I pay for this card? If you answered yes, you are correct. As you can see, we have to pay 1 red mana. I have 1 land here that I can tap to pay for that cost. If we cover that up, all we have left is 2 colorless, which means we can pay for any color of our choice. Which means I could tap this one, or this one, or this one, and I just have to tap 2, so I paid for the red mana cost and the 2 colorless mana costs. Then I can play this card, and it's allowed to stay on the battlefield. Let's put this in my graveyard. Okay, now we're going to talk about some special type of mana costs that you can pay for. I want to put this Gitaxian Probe into play. Now, if you look at the top right-hand side of this card, you can see that it doesn't match any of the symbols on our land cards that we have down here. This is because this card is special. This card, if you look in its ability box or effect box, whatever you like to call it, it says the symbol can be paid with either 1 island or 1 blue mana or 2 life. So you could take 2 life off of your life total, which we will talk about in another video, or pay 1 blue mana. So I want to just pay 1 blue mana to play this card. And this card would leave my hand, go onto the battlefield, and it can stay there because I have paid for the cost. Alright, I'm going to quiz you a couple more times on if I can pay for some of these specific cards. Let's go with this one. Can I pay for this card? Now you may be thinking, if you are new to this game, you're probably thinking, what the heck? What is this card? Why does it look different? Why is there a bunch of different things written all over this card? Well, let me tell you. If you look up in the top right, over here on my screen, look at the big image of the card, you can see that the picture and the name and the cost are pretty much the same. But if you go down, you'll see it's a planeswalker, and his name is Ajani. This means that this card works a little different than a normal card. What you do is you have this number, and you activate these effects to take away or add to this number. So if I want to use this effect, I would say, I'm going to use the first effect. I would add 1 to this number, so this big number down here becomes 5, and the effect resolves, and I would gain 2 life. Let's say I'd want to subtract 1. Then I'd just take 1 away from the total. Let's say I want to do this ability. Well, right now I can't because I'm only at 4, but if I use the top ability 2 times, then I'd be able to pay for this bottom ability, We'll get more into Planeswalkers later. That's just a simple little introduction. Alright, I'm gonna quiz you one last time. Can I pay for this card here? If you answered yes, you are correct. If I tap these 2 mana, can I pay for this card here? If you answered yes, you are incorrect. I have to tap 1 forest to pay for the forest or green mana cost, and then 1 other mana of my choice for the colorless cost. Alright. By now, I hope you have everything down, and if you want, you can rewatch this video, or in the comments section, leave us a comment and ask questions about the game. We'll be happy to answer them. And I hope this video has taught you a little bit on how to play, just the basics of Magic the Gathering, putting out cards into play. Next episode, we'll be talking about gameplay, how the game works, how you attack, different ways you can play the game. Alright. This is E. Wilkes signing off.